Hey there, everybody. Good evening, and happy Monday. Happy holidays. Happy Thanksgiving week. It's kind of crazy to think that it could even be the week of Thanksgiving. We have the holidays in full steam ahead. We have Thanksgiving coming up. We have the holidays, Christmas, all of those things, and we're excited about uh, what the end of the year feels like. We're in quarter 4. For many of us, we are trying to navigate and figure out what our end of the year is going to look like. And so tonight, just for a little bit, I'm going to just share about some barriers that we might have to creating that. Okay. So good evening, everyone. First of all, baby daddy cut my hair. Okay. So you guys know whenever I get a haircut, I must go live on the internet. Let's just get this established, right? Like whenever baby daddy gives me like the fresh taper, it has to happen. A live must ensue after this, right? Like, oh my goodness. So anyway, thank you guys so much for coming to join me. I'm excited about what we're going to talk about tonight for a few reasons, mostly because I've been having some really amazing good evening conversations with some super dope sisters. And for that reason, I just want to reflect on some of those conversations, share some light bulb moments that I've been having, and then be able to encourage you, motivate you, equip you to take the rest of the year by storm. Okay. If you are new here, if you're like Christina, who in the world is this lady? I'm excited to see her. Her haircut is cute, but I'm not even sure why I'm here. I am Christina Garrett. I am very honored to serve the world as a productivity coach for superstar working moms. Some of my clients are 9 to 5. Some of them work in corporate. Other clients are entrepreneurs. Some of them are nonprofit founders. We have a wide spread of ladies in our community, all of them who are thought leaders, powerhouses, epic leaders in their own way, and every one of them working to take up more space in the world. Okay. Part of the work that I do is supporting women as they learn to create their vision, turn the heat up on the vision, get there faster, right? All of us want to feel as though we're taking our time getting somewhere. We don't want to feel rushed in any way, but often we want to move to the next season. Like we may feel like I've been sitting in this season of my life for too long. And so whenever we get to those places, we want to get those goals done faster, right? We want to make sure that, hey, I've had this on the vision board. It's been here for a while. Okay. And some of us, we're trying to navigate what that's going to look like for our future. Maybe you wrote all kind of epic things on your vision board this year. I'm not a vision board party person. Most of my community knows this. I feel like they're going to end up underneath your bed or in your closet or a myriad of other places. But however you decide to write the vision and make it plain, do you, boo? Do you? Okay. But for many of us, we lay those things out in January. We go back to them at the start of every quarter, and maybe just maybe you're starting to see a little bit of dust collecting on some of the things that you've been outlining. Okay. And so for that reason, tonight we're just going to talk for a few minutes about some barriers that we all can have as it comes to creativity, productivity, and being consistent. Okay. I have known over the course of time that you can only go so far if you are inconsistent. Okay. You can only go so far if you're inconsistent. Now, inconsistency. Let's look up a definition. Okay. I'm going to look up a definition real quick. Let's make this thing happen because I want to make it practical. I want to make sure. Hello and good evening, ladies. Good to see you all. There we go. I'm about to look up the definition of consistency, okay? Because we're going to talk about this thing for real tonight. And my husband is cooking a very late dinner. Don't judge me. So probably in about 15, 20 minutes, we're going to wrap this thing up and y'all can join me again tomorrow night, okay? Consistency. Let's look up the definition, okay? Consistency is, no, that's not the one I want. Here we go. Consistency is defined as the achievement of a level of performance that does not vary greatly or in quality over time. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Consistency is defined as the achievement of a level of performance that does not vary greatly in quality over time. Okay. What many of us, though, when we think about being consistent, when we thinking about showing up, when we think about giving the best of ourselves to the world, a lot of times we feel like consistency means every single day I do this thing. Every day. I even in my coaching remind my clients about how important it is to rinse and repeat, right? Like to go back to that thing again, to go back to it again. Okay, so it didn't work this time. How can we tweak it? How can we streamline? How can we troubleshoot in order to move towards the result? However, consistency is being able to perform in a specific way where your quality doesn't go down over time. Okay? There are people every year that say, Christina, you should have more than one Mamathon conference. You should have multiple events throughout the year. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. One moment, right? The idea for me of that is how do I become better in quality over time? So what happened is when you all see Christina talking about consistency, good evening, guys. When you will see me talking about showing up and doing things on a consistent basis, your mind will take those words of affirmation, encouragement, motivation, and use it against yourself. You'll say, I took this time off. I'm not consistent. You'll say, I'm overwhelmed. I'm not consistent. You'll say, I'm burned out. I'm not what? Consistent. As opposed to consistency is my reflection of quality over time. That means over the course of the year, were you consistent? If there are 365 days in a year, did you show up for yourself, for your goals, for your business? Hey, Antoinette, did you show up for your goals, for your business for 7 months out of the 12? Did you hit goals of taking care of yourself, prioritizing your mental health, right? If I set my goal for, for 2023 was to show up for myself, show up for my business, show up for my life. Some days, like Fridays, y'all, I've been opening my calendar wide on Fridays. So I'm taking almost all my clients on Fridays, right? So by the time I listen, if I don't work out early in the morning on a Friday, baby, it's not happening. Okay? I got to get up and get it done early. But did I take care of myself on the other days? Did I get it done on the other days? Did I show up on the other days? Some days the showing up is going live at 9:48. Some of those days are me saying, you know what? Self-care day. I'm going to take a nap. And boy, did I nap hard on Saturday. Boy, did I binge watch Loki on Disney Plus with my family all afternoon, Antoinette. We watched like 5 episodes back to back to back. Boy, did I love when like there are certain things I told my family after the conference is over, we're going to go and do. Which were some luxe dinners and movies and just extra things, right? To show my appreciation for their support. This is my consistency. Every day it's not going to be me here in front of the camera showing up for you guys, but am I showing up strong for my family? Am I showing up for myself? I have my weights in my hand. They're still here by my feet. I have my weights in my hand before this live, right? Because we're going to unbig backs going into the new year, right? All of these things, consistency spreads across multiple areas of your life. And here's what I'm going to tell you. I don't have the 12-week year close to me. It's probably in our other library area. But in the 12-week year, he talks about the cycles, right? And I have adapted talking about cycles for us here in this community. And the reason why is because he is a white man. He could be married, he could be not married. I have no idea. The majority of the women here in this community are BIPOC, right? We Black, we brown. We got a couple, light-skinned sisters that coming up in here. But for the most part, we are some curly-haired, saucy, mac and cheese cooking Black women, right? Latino women, women of color here in this sphere who are working through managing households, loving our men well, taking care of our families, and growing these larger than life goals that we're like, oh my gosh, I totally see myself in this place doing this. And so because we are managing multiple areas of our lives, because we are navigating so many different changes, these changes are mental, spiritual, physical, emotional. These changes are our children going through the different phases of life. I have 3 teenagers in my house now. Lord have mercy. All their new thoughts and feelings and changes. We're a homeschooling family, right? Even if you're not a homeschooling family, you're still trying to run up behind children who are playing sports. And you have all these layers of change, and you're trying to take care of your body and be healthy, and you're trying to grow a multi-six-figure business, and you're trying to do this and still have sex and do all these things. You want to be this person. You want to be this version of yourself going into the new year. So because you have so many different layers of life happening to you, of course, when you fall off in consistency in this one particular area, of course, you're going to shame yourself. Of course, you're going to say, girl, you were supposed to work out 5 days this week. You only did 3. But you forgot that you were consistent in these other areas, being present for your family, loving your man well. You finally took that bag of clothes to the Goodwill. Congratulations. You're decluttering before the new year. All of these different facets, all of these different changes, right, can cause us to shame ourselves when we're not being this particular version that we think we're supposed to be. Okay, so I'm going to talk just for a second about a couple things that can lead to feeling inconsistent. Okay, and then we're going to sign off and you can chew on it during the night. I'm going to invite you to come to the Mastermind in January. It's going to be lit. I'm going to teach you everything I know. I'm going to coach y'all hard. We're going to change your life in 2024. Okay. It's the idea of redefining what success for me looks like. So let's talk for a few minutes about some things that slow down our consistency. Okay. Number 1 is imposter syndrome. Okay. I have been talking about imposter syndrome for a minute, and there are 4 P's that come with imposter syndrome. Classically, when you define it, you think about the comparison aspect, where you don't see yourself as the success you actually are. You don't see yourself as the success you actually are. You don't see yourself for all of the receipts, all of the wins, all of the successes that you've done and built up in the past. You begin to operate from a disingenuous, morphed view of who you are. This is how we begin to show up. We see a morphed view of who we are. Okay. So imposter syndrome is, the 4 P's are procrastination, people pleasing, perfectionism, and paralysis. Procrastination, people pleasing, perfectionism, paralysis. These are the 4 P's of imposter syndrome. I'm coming to check the comments, y'all. And the reason that I'm illuminating this today, right, is because for many of us, we're missing out on, hey ladies, I'm about to tag some folk. Here we go. For many of us, we are not correlating how phenomenal and how dope we actually are with these other things. We just don't see it. We don't see it. So what stifles us showing up on a consistent basis? For example, let's say I'm live tonight for about 30 minutes, right? Say I'm live for 30 minutes. 30 minutes is 1/48th of my entire day. Let's think about it. Going live for 30, I got 24 hours in a single day. Going live and talking to my community, right? How you guys know I'm still alive, how I stay relevant. Like I take what you all share with me, right? And I create this magic from it, right? I get to create this amazingness because I know that these are challenges that you all are having, right? So 30 minutes, 1/48th of my entire day. Will we not make a mountain out of a molehill when it comes to showing up? Why is that? Is it because I don't feel like it's going to look like somebody else's thing? Is it because someone has told me in the past that what I did wasn't good enough? Is it because I feel like nobody wants it? Is it because I don't feel like I'm offering enough value? Like, you tell me what it is that will cause you to not show up for those 30 minutes that are 1/48th of your day, but it's how people know that you're the person. You're their person. How else will they know if they don't get a chance to talk to you, communicate with you, convey to you what their challenges are? Okay? That dreaded imposter syndrome. Okay? Perfectionism, procrastination, paralysis. I just feel stuck. I know what I'm supposed to do. It's just not working. And then we begin to look outside to everywhere else, everybody else, looking for who has this magical answer that is going to help us to get to where we need to be. What is your barrier to your consistency? One of those things is imposter syndrome, where you feel like it has to look a certain way. If it doesn't, I got to put it off. It has to be perfect. If it doesn't, I got to put it off. I don't want people to think of me in any particular way, good or bad. Let me put it off. Okay? It shows up in a myriad of ways. Number 2, overwhelm halts your consistency. Overwhelm halts your consistency. Some of us have been notorious micromanagers. Notorious micromanagers for years. Not months. Not months. Years. Years. Where you believe that if you weren't the one to do it, whatever it is, if you believe that you weren't the one to do it, no one would be able to get it done. No one could add value like I add value. No one is able to show up like I do, right? Nobody is. And because this is the situation, I refuse. See if I can go live on Instagram too. I just refuse to delegate it away. And it causes us to slow down our consistency, okay? How many times has someone you love offered to help or support you? Good evening. How many times has someone that you care about offered to be the helping hand, the support agent, the heavy lifting for you, and you politely said thank you, but no thank you? How many times have you wanted help and didn't ask? How many times did someone do things in a different way than you would normally do it? And because of that, you gently said, you know what? I think I'm just going to take it from here. And then later on, we get upset, frustrated, good evening, and we begin to feel some kind of way because we technically invited the too long list of things to do. You want to be consistent. You want to show up. You want to take better care of you. But somewhere along the way, we have accepted the role of being people's problem solver. I'm going to be transparent. I went in my kitchen the other day and I went to go wash out mugs, right? Like to wash out mugs for me and my husband some coffee. And I realized I hadn't washed dishes in a really long time. Like when I picked it up and started running the water, it felt weird. And I was like, wait, when was the last time I washed dishes? I can't even remember. Best feeling ever. Best feeling ever. I have 3 teenagers at home, 5 kids total, 3 teenagers. And I have learned how to overcome the perfectionism and let go of it being done exactly the way I want it done. And instead teach my children how to do it the way that it should be done. And if I'm not home, I put my teenage son, who's 15, he does an incredible kitchen day, for him to come and troubleshoot and say, hey, this isn't done the way mommy will want it done. Right? So that way I can go and stretch myself in other ways that don't involve me being hands-on in every part of my family life. I want to be hands-on when it comes to us spending time together. I want to be hands-on when it comes to us hanging out and doing all the things. I want to be present. Thank you. I want to be present, right? I want to laugh. I want to binge watch our favorite family TV shows together. I want to do all of this stuff, right? But here's the challenge. Some of this other stuff, I don't want to have to micromanage that. I don't want to have to hover over those things. And so overwhelmed, saying yes to so much stuff, micromanaging people we love and we care about, saying, I'm not correlating saying yes, but in our businesses, we might overreach, right? I'll give you an example. I'll give you a great example. I have a client. One of the things I do with my clients is teach them how to become their own publicist. Okay. Publicists across the board are $3,000 to $5,000 per month. Okay. And because of that, not everybody is at the place yet to go and hire one and just completely and totally delegate publicity, public relations, finding opportunities, securing those opportunities to somebody else. I also believe that a lot of times people want to talk to you about your work, get to know you personally, all these things. Ain't nothing like having a producer that you can just email out of the blue, right? Say, hey, what you guys working on? Or editor or something like that. What are you working on? This is the idea I have. Okay, nothing like that. And some of this is the heavy lifting that a lot of people don't want to do. It's the heavy lifting that you kind of have to show up and do. Okay, just talking about brand building, platforms, selling your stuff, whatever. And so anyway, a part of that for her was, number one, believing that she was somebody that the world wanted to hear from. And then I was showing her how to do that heavy lifting. This is what your pitch should look like. This is what you need to include. This is the copy or the messaging. This is the format that it should be in order to get accepted. And so she has been making it rain with the media opportunities. She was like, boom, I got this one and this and this. And that. I mean, I'm talking about like so many. She started turning down interview opportunities because she just had too many. I said, baby, you can push that through to next year. It's okay. So much better to have too many and reschedule them than none, right? But I was not going to go in and do the public relation aspect for her. That's not my job. My job as a coach and a consultant and a strategist is to walk you through the how, show you how to do it, show you how I have won in this area, and then give you the strategy to go and do it and make that result replicable, that you can do it again and again. Okay? And so many of us, because we are not utilizing those critical thinking skills in our homes, we're overwhelmed. In our businesses, we're saying yes to more things than your skill set covers. Right? So you say yes and then go Google how to do it later. I'm like, wait a second, no, that part's not my area. Right? This right here is what we focus in on. She want to know how to secure more opportunities. This I can teach you 100%. Let's do it again and again until people start walking up to you in Walmart saying, I follow you on the internet, which is the best feeling. Okay? So it's all of these things combining together, piling together, but you can't avoid the heavy lifting. And if you tend to overreach in many areas of your life, you're going to feel overwhelmed. Some of us have so many ideas, so many different businesses, everything running all the time, but none of them are profitable like we want them to. Maybe there's one or two that are really your heart song. Like you love doing it, and then the rest of them you just kind of do. But you're afraid to turn down something. You're afraid to not be a yes in these other areas. And that's okay. But let's streamline, let's focus, let's lean into the necessary things, the things that you really love, the things that really feel good, and figure out how to do those things better so that they help you reach the goal. Okay? So number one, imposter syndrome. Okay? The procrastination, the people pleasing, perfectionism, analysis, paralysis, where you overthink everything. You overthink everything. Of course, you're inconsistent because that makes everything a challenge. Number two was overwhelm, right? If I'm saying yes to so many things, if I'm trying to overreach in all these other areas, I did not go and become my client's publicist. I gave her the skills, the gifts, knowledge, the strategy to go and do that for herself, to do her own heavy lifting. I empowered her to go and do it. She grabbed it. She ran. She told me tonight, she said, I couldn't have done this without you. I said, listen, I taught you. You grabbed it and you ran with it. And there are so many of us, we're feeling overwhelmed. We have so many ideas. We're like, oh my goodness, I want to do this, and then there's this over here too. And you feel stretched to capacity because you're overwhelmed. And some of us, we have settled into this is just how life is. Life is overwhelming. This is just how it is. What if that's not the case? What if you can simplify, clarify, streamline your life, your efforts, your work so that you're not spinning? Excuse me. Okay. What if you get the opportunity, you're allowed to craft how you spend your hours, craft how you spend your energy, choose not to be all over the place in here and in here. Thank you, Janisha. So that you create the results you want to reach. Okay, but when we're overwhelmed, we can't see a lot of times. And that is where the external support is so good. It helps us to identify those thoughts. Okay, so number one, imposter syndrome. Number two, overwhelm. Number three, failure to communicate. Failure to communicate. Tonight at the Garrett house, this is a prime example. Okay, I felt overwhelmed in a way. I was like, okay, there's all these things that I know I need to do. I said I was going to go live. I need to exercise. Somebody got to make some dinner. What we going to eat? It was all these different things. And my husband said, take a deep breath. First, I was making a face. I'm sure I was. And while I was making this face, probably like trying to figure out how I was going to multiply myself, my husband said, what's wrong? I was like, I'm trying to figure out how to do this, and this. He said, okay, come on. I'll cut your hair. My daughter offered to cook dinner. The chicken was still frozen. Husband went and got pizza for the kids. Right? And then I worked out, took a hot shower, just oiled my whole, I smell so good. For everybody that was at the conference, I have the Nature's Rehab stuff on and it smells amazing. Anyway, I did all those things and just slowed down. And it's okay. I meant to go live at this time. I'm live at 9:30. It'll be fine. Right? It'll be fine. But I made sure to communicate, this is what I'm really thinking. These are the areas where I need help and support. And my husband said, here's how I can support you. Now, somebody who's listening and watching will say, well, I don't have that same level of support. Do you have the same level of communication? Have you tried to say, hey, babe, would you be willing to grab this? My treat tonight, but I just don't have the capacity to cook. Can we do that instead? Can we coordinate with the people that we love, that we rely on, that live with us, that this is the way in which I could use some extra hands today, tomorrow, whatever day? Have we done that work? That also is part of the heavy lifting. That failure to communicate, that's stopping your consistency. Have I asked for what I need? Have I communicated, this is how I need it? Have I asked you, loved ones, children, husband, partner, spouse, co-parent, this is what I need from you? Have I identified that? Have I been able to verbalize it in a way that you can receive and respond to? Right? Am I willing to do that work? Okay, so number one, imposter syndrome. Not just looking at on somebody else's paper or dodging your car into someone else's lane, but being paralyzed by perfectionism, being paralyzed by your people pleasing, being paralyzed so you procrastinate, feeling overwhelmed where you micromanage and hover over other people, where you take on other people's problems. You say yes to certain things. You operate outside of the scope of your business, right? You're staying up late and waking up early and doing all this kind of stuff. After this live, I'm not about to be sending no emails and doing no something. Going to lay on the couch with my husband and chill. So I'm going to practice what I preach. Can y'all grab that and run with it too? Can we grab it and run with it? The idea that I can unoverwhelm myself, I'm allowed to choose that. That I opt in to overwhelm and I'm allowed to now opt out. I said yes to that thing. I can undo my yes. There's an amazing opportunity that's coming up. And because of a commitment to family, I have to un-yes myself. Because I will never regret being committed in that area and everything else coming second. I just won't. I talked to an amazing sister, mama, homeschooling coach. We're going to be coaching together in the Mastermind, which I'm going to share about in a few minutes. And then probably one-on-one next year as well. And she was like, I was so grateful that you offered coaching support in a way that didn't shame anybody and didn't beat me down. And I said, what are the folks out here doing right now that this is how clients feel? That if I don't do it in the way you feel like I'm supposed to do it, I'm berated. Or it just won't work if it's not this one way. For us, instead, we don't shame you for being inconsistent. We say, how can I take the goals that I have and increase them by this percentage? And the percentage might be in relation or in ratio to how fast you want to get there. Right? You want to be a thought leader in a month? You might have to do some extra stuff. You might have to lean in some other ways. You might have to turn up the heat on some stuff. You want a different kind of coach. You want to hurry up and get there. But for some of us, we want to get there at a pace that feels good. At a pace that doesn't feel like we are burning out. Where we get excited and motivated. And then when things don't happen like we think they should, we feel some kind of way. And then we go all in. We burn out. We shame ourselves. We try to pick ourselves up off the floor again. Get excited. Do too much. Burn out. Shame ourselves. Get it back together. And then we repeat the cycle over and over and over again. What if we get to opt out of that? What if we get to pursue our goals in a way that is sustainable and feels right, and you still get to value the things that you value? I am so big on valuing family. I'm so big on valuing marriage and relationships. I'm so big on valuing how we support our loved ones and ourselves. I can fully be who I'm supposed to be and love my family well. I get to do both. And I get to opt out of the rest. Okay? And that happens through learning how to snap myself out of that paralysis. When I feel like I'm going into it, now my mind, my coached mind knows, wait, that's what I'm doing. I can stop that. That's what I'm doing. I can stop that. Girl, catch yourself. Pull yourself together. Right? I now my mind is clear enough that I can put myself back on that path. Okay? So all of these things coming together. The imposter syndrome is a barrier. Overwhelm is a barrier. And failure to communicate is another barrier. Okay? And so what we want to do instead is learn the art. I want to say the mamathon art, but learn the art of creating faster results without burning out. Okay? So that's what our mastermind coming up in January is all about. That's what the coaching work that we do here is all about. Helping you to reach your goals faster without you feeling like I have to grow extra arms. Okay? Without you feeling like I need all of these external things to make this happen. God has given me the vision, and with the right support and resources, I know exactly what I need to do. And if it works, fantastic. We turn the heat up. If you need to troubleshoot and streamline, we do that, and then we go back to the goal again. Okay? But being able to work through those challenges, the mind drama that comes up as you pursue the goals, the feeling of stretching that you have when you change, that's where the real work comes from, okay? And so this year, I am talking with some of our superstar mom divas, these phenomenal women, and I'm inviting you to this too, okay? To talk to me about what your goals are, your vision. Everybody I've been asking about, if you could wave a magic wand and have whatever kind of life you want, what would that look like? Or do you feel like you're allowed to dream about it and say it out loud? And can we work together to help you get there faster? Some of us, we want to take the scenic route. Ain't nothing wrong with riding on the back road looking at the scenery. Nothing wrong with it. I love it, in fact. I told somebody the other day, she reached out to me, right, about coaching support. I said, listen, do you want to do X, Y, and Z? She said, I'll let you know when I'm ready. And I told her, I said, listen, all of us are moving at a different pace. And if you love the pace that you're moving at right now, feel free to continue. For me, for the ladies that I'm working with, we want to get there faster. We have a destination in mind where our businesses are breaking out of the whole Black women entrepreneurs make $27K a year. What? Let's break out of that. We got to move past that quickly, right? We got to break out of, I'm doing all the work in my home. I'm micromanaging because I have to. We got to break out of, I don't know how to delegate. We got to break out of Superwoman Syndrome. We got to break out all of these things. We got to be willing to craft a life that leaves those things alone. Okay. So the mastermind in January, we're going from January through Mother's Day 2024. We're literally offering you coaching support through the whole first 2 quarters of the year, right? To talk about showing up for yourself, consistency, how to establish yourself as a thought leader, how to secure more amazing opportunities that pay you, how to secure media opportunities, how to get in front of more people, how to show up and take care of yourself. They're not mutually exclusive. Okay? How to grow your goals and then double them and then triple them so that you're always hitting those benchmarks. One affirmation that I use, and I'm going to sign off with this, is every single goal that I set, I achieve. Every single goal I set, I achieve. Every one. I know how to create a strategy to get there. I know how to make it simple. I know how to troubleshoot and rinse and repeat. I know how to do that again and again. So every single time when I feel like, oh, I don't know how to do this. Oh, I'm not sure about this situation. Oh, I'm not. Oh, wait, yes, I do. I know exactly how to go back there, but that's because I've done so much work on my mind. That's because I believe what God says about me. What? I believe what God says about me. I believe that. So I'm willing to work until I get to the vision that He has shown me. I see it clearly. So I'm willing to do that work. Hey, Kersha. I'm willing to show up and be the person, right? I'm willing to be her. I'm not afraid of the heavy lifting. I'm not afraid anymore of being uncomfortable. I'm not afraid of it. There's certain things I'm going to be shooting my shot for going into the new year that I have worked hard. Those that know me well know what I'm talking about. I have worked hard to establish those connections. People that I'm like, you know what? How can I serve you? How can I support this mission? How can I do that? What are you guys looking for in relation to this particular opportunity? Because I got you covered, right? Like, I'm not afraid of that. I'm not afraid to become that person that will step out and do that. Okay? So as we are thinking through, as we are planning, as you're like, okay, I'm ending this year. How am I going to start the new year? Some of my ladies, I was reaching out like, what are your goals? They're like, I don't know. Wait a minute. These companies and corporations, sponsors, partners, collaborators, they're in summertime in 2025. They already over there. So here we are acting like we don't know what we want to do, acting brand new. Wait a minute, it's time to wake it up. And so the mastermind is for those women who want to pick up the pace. It's nothing wrong if you like the pace you're operating at, baby, do you. But for those that want to pick up the pace, for those that want a happy medium of group support where we rally around you and one-to-one. So everybody's going to get one-to-one strategy calls as well as part of the mastermind course, as part of the program. Okay. And I'm going to download all the stuff that's floating in here. I'm downloading it to all of you. Okay. So that you guys can figure out what kind of pitch strategy did Christina do that her event, which was tens of thousands of dollars, was fully paid for in full through sponsors, partners, etc. What in the world is Christina doing that has her 5th Essence article in a year and a half being worked on? What's happening over there that I'm not creating the result yet? I want to know. I want to opt in for that. I want to pick up the pace. I want to secure more opportunities. I want to make more money next year. I don't want to burn out. I don't want to drop the ball on my family life trying to be great. I don't want to be a MIA mama trying to pursue the next big thing. And in this current society of if it costs me my peace, it's too expensive. All the mamas are asking, where the children gonna live? If it costs me my peace and it's too expensive, where are my kids going? If I get to opt out of all this stuff in the name of self-care, they forgot to give you an asterisk at the bottom of that, a footnote that says this does not include your husband. This does not include your children. This does not include you managing your household well, Proverbs 31 woman. They didn't put that in there. They didn't give you that little asterisk that told you it doesn't include the people that are in your will. So some of us are talking this whole if it costs me my peace conversation and going to go pursue businesses, and you forgot that God still holds you responsible for being that woman here first. Here first, then everything else gets added. This is his kingdom. He said, seek this first. Seek his will. Seek his way first. Then I'll add everything else to you. Get your priorities straight first. Then I'll add everything else to you. So if you want to work with a coach who values what you value, if you want to work with a coach who says, listen, wait a second, you off balance. You want your husband to applaud you staying up all night working. He ain't gonna. You should be in the bed with your husband, right? Some of these coaches, hey, my sister, some of these coaches out here, they're telling y'all, oh yeah, I stay up. I'm telling you, one powerhouse. I respect this woman as a coach, as a leader, and all this work that she does. And she was like, me and my husband don't sleep together. She said, I go to bed alone. She said, she's staying up late. They not sleeping together. All this other. Wait a minute. Flag on the play. We got some organization to get together. Because I refuse to have a $1 million business and have my family broke up. I refuse. No, ma'am. Some of my clients, we spend the first 3-4 sessions just talking about your family. You cannot go and become a winner out there in the rest of the world. And in here is trash. That's a different level of accountability. It's a different level of accountability. And everybody around here wants to say, listen, cost your peace. Girl, your husband is jealous of you. No, he not. Please pay a bill. He tired of paying all of it. Please feel free to say, baby, I got dinner tonight. I told one of my clients, her and her husband were working through some serious marital stuff. I said, girl, why don't you just text him and take him to dinner? I said, just start sowing seeds with him. You're the person that's receiving the coaching that says you got to lean in when times get rough. Don't fall back. Lean in. Our first 3 sessions, we've just been talking about her family. We didn't even got to her business because I refuse to let all of this out here be winning. And in here, me and Stephen Garrett ain't even. We ain't even. Baby, I'll cancel a live so quick and go eat with my husband. Y'all hear me? I love y'all. I'll roll out on y'all so fast to go lay on the chocolate Superman. Don't play with me. You got to have support that values what you value. Otherwise, they're going to be seeding into your ear. Girl, your business is winning now. Your husband is jealous of you. No, he's not. You're no longer available. That's the problem. Okay? And so throughout the mastermind, we want to show you how to grow sustainably. Okay? How to stretch yourself little by little, percentage at a time, in order to make sure you're present where you need to be and you're still knocking out your goals like a bombshell. Okay? So if that's you, you know this is where you need to be. You know I'm your person because I am so fun, right? Like I am just so fun. I really am. If you know that you want to work with women who are like-minded, like-spirited, then we invite you to come and join us. The investment is less than half of my 6-month one-to-one coaching investment. And we have payment arrangement options available. Okay. So what we don't want you to do is feel like it's not available to you. Okay. I literally created it post-conference for you guys. Okay. Because I've been working with one-on-one clients 6 months strong for the last couple of years. Okay. So take advantage of your moment to get the support you need to walk with women who are like-minded and to absorb some really amazing accountability, strategy, next level planning, and helping you to get to your goals without burning out. Okay. It's 10:30. That's it for tonight. Okay. If you would like to connect and talk about it, DM me, Mastermind, slide in my DMs. Some of my clients are just doing the Mastermind. Others are doing both because they are bougie. And they're like, I still want my one-on-one. I'll show up to some group calls, but I still want the one-on-one too. And so for those of you who know that you need support going into the new year, I am happy and excited to download some really great stuff to you guys. Okay. So I look forward to connecting with you in Messenger. If no one else has told you yet today, you are remarkable. God loves you, something serious, to the point where if it was only you, if you were the only person to love, he still would have given it all for you. Okay. He loves you. He has a plan for your life. And it's going to be so good. It's going to blow your mind. He's going to be surprising you with all the amazingness that's coming your way as we say yes to the next thing. Okay. So I love you guys so much. Lord willing, I'll be live again tomorrow night. Probably earlier than tonight. So y'all turn on your notifications, whether you're on Instagram or wherever. Go ahead and do that. And we are excited to serve you guys at the next level going into the new year. Okay. Love you all so much. And I look forward to chatting with you in Messenger. All right. Good night.